What's up, everybody? Welcome to Daily Refinement. Today, I have Caitlyn with me. She is a seven-figure seller on Whatnot, and she's 18, I believe.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
So first off, let's let everybody know where they can find you on social media and where can they find you on Whatnot.
So I'm Katie Co everywhere on Instagram, on Whatnot, CAITIECO. So that's my tag: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Whatnot.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into it. So I was checking out some of your Instagram, and you said that you started at age 12. So
I did.
I wanted to just ask you, just right in the beginning, do you feel like you've already put 10,000 hours into this?
Yes.
Because like even though you're so young, you're not new to this.
No, no. I'm new to live selling, but I'm not new to the resale world.
So what did you do before Whatnot?
Before Whatnot, I listed on Poshmark and Mercari. And then as soon as I graduated high school, I graduated a year early when I was 17. I did my junior year over the summer. I hated school. I just wanted to do my business. And I had started my business. So I was like, all right, it's time for something different. That's when live selling started to like rise up. And I just wanted
Yep.
in on it so bad.
So how long have you been doing the live selling part?
Not even a year yet. It's been 10 months.
That's crazy. I've been doing live selling for about 18 months,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the first women's clothing seller on Whatnot.
Wow.
When I started, it's not even that long ago. When I started,
Mm-hmm.
it was only men's vintage. So
Wow.
I said, okay, I'm gonna learn men's vintage, and then I
Mm-hmm.
started down that route. And then they said, do you want to try the women's thrift category? Will be our first category. And now, as you know, there's dozens, like maybe a dozen
Yeah.
categories already. And
Yep.
and I think for Whatnot, fashion will be the second biggest category, and that's
I
pretty
think
impressive
so too.
considering it wasn't even a category a year ago.
I know, and I've only been on the Whatnot app for about 7, 8 months. I was live selling on another platform.
So did you have any experience with Instagram live selling, or this is your
No,
first
I've
year?
only no nothing. I had like no experience of live selling. I just remember clicking on a live show, seeing like something just clicked for me. I was like, oh my gosh, you can move so much inventory by doing lives. And so I was like, I want to do that. And I was always the one that like did like school plays and like wanted to like get the solo. Like I was all about like doing stuff like that. I was never like a sports cat. Like I wanted the attention on me in a sense. But I just was like, okay, this is like my dream. Like I just wanted to do it. There was just something about it. I was like, I want to do that. And I pretty much, I think like, yeah, like 10 months ago, I was onboarded onto Poshmark live selling. And then Whatnot kind of discovered me and they were like, we want you over here. And then so I came over to Whatnot. I just felt like it's Whatnot's just a better live show experience as a whole. They've been doing it longer. At the time, Poshmark was dealing with like glitches. I didn't want to deal with it. So they were like, come over here. And I was like, okay.
Wow, that's surprising. So you started on Poshmark Live, even though that came out after Whatnot.
Yeah. So on Poshmark, I had a pretty good audience. I would sell only free people clothing every night,
Yep.
8 o'clock. And then I started doing other brands as I got to Whatnot. But yeah, I normally had about 100 people in my room over there. Um, but my first show on Whatnot, I had 550 people.
That's crazy. So I love it because I've tried Poshmark Live too, and it's way less competitive than Whatnot because
Yeah.
it's not the stream quality and all the features are much lower. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Yeah. And once you discovered Whatnot, you didn't go back. No more Posh selling.
No, I never went back.
So I have so many questions to ask you because I'm in the same category as you. Do you ever
Yeah.
feel like you want a fixed marketplace on this in addition to this, or you want to just go all in live?
No, no. I hate listing. I would much rather just run it, just run the item. Like we don't need
Yeah,
to talk about it. Let's just, you see it, you like it, bid on it. Like, let's just keep moving. I mean,
yeah,
every single night right now, we run at least 225 items, and there's normally at least 250 items sold between our buy it now section and auction.
yeah.
With like last week, we finished a week with 2.5K items sold. So it was like a big week. It's just like grind all the time.
Are you adding in a certain percentage of buy now that you're looking for in each show?
No, not really.
But mostly auction.
Mostly auction.
Yeah.
The last week I got in like a certain beauty product that I sold a ton of in the bin. Like I sold 1,000 pieces of it. It was
Yeah.
just a really good product. Everyone bought it. And so I had probably like 250 buy it now sold and then like 250 auction sold. So it was like 500 items sold in one night, but that's not my normal. My
Yeah.
normal's auction.
I think so too. I'm like 90% auction. And that's only because sometimes I have something that makes sense in the buy now.
Yeah.
But the reason I ask is because I was whatnot only, and then I added Poshmark for only
Mhm.
high-end things that I had a lot of. And
Yeah,
it's
not for
been
me.
a
I like to run the high end. So I don't care what it is. Like if it comes in, I had these like $4,000 leather jackets that I got in and I ran them all for $1. And there was sold comps on Poshmark for 2,000. Some people think I'm crazy for that, but it also just builds my audience. It's just people love it. So
so do
I
you
don't care.
think scared money don't make money, or how do you, because I start everything at $1 too, and I'm not afraid. What
Yeah, me either.
are you just thinking big picture so you're not worried about it?
I've never been that hurt on a deal. So I don't like, I'm not scared because I might have broken even on a deal or something like that, but I've never lost. Like I've made a lot of money on everything. So I feel okay.
So I feel the same way. Like I even feel like those ones, you just have to trust the product will sell itself.
Exactly. And I trust that I'm going to buy good products and I do the research before I buy them. And I think, okay, what's the lowest, if it's not selling at this price, what's the lowest I could blow it out for and still make money? And then I'm like, all right, cool, let's buy it.
And so all $1 starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. So you don't, and so on a more expensive item, do you make the timer longer, or you still just let it go?
Nope. Sudden death.
I love it. I love it.
Like
Yeah,
when we did some of those jackets, I did start them at $1. And there was a few times that if it's like a lot of people wanted it, I would take sudden death off
yeah.
just because I wanted everyone to get a chance at it. But most of the time it's whatever it is, it's sudden death, 10 seconds.
I feel the same way. So, okay, there's so much to talk about, but like, when did you decide to get an external space? Because I don't think you're doing this at home.
So I live in an apartment. I live in 1,000 square foot apartment. So it's very, very hard. I'm gonna buy a house soon. We're gonna buy land and get a house, and then I'm gonna put up another building. But right now I was very fortunate because I at first had nowhere to put it. So literally my first few pallets that came in, I was originally just getting everything in boxes. And then my business kept growing, but then it was pallets. So I would literally just tarp them outside at my parents' house, like just tarp them up. And normally I'd move it in a few days. So it was never like an issue. But then there became deals where it was like 15 pallets delivering. So then I ended up thinking, like, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but my parents have a building on their property. Like they have a big building, like a metal building. And so I was just like, Dad, can I use that? And he's just like, yeah, I don't care. And so I just took over his building and I don't have to pay rent or anything. So it's like free space. So
Wow. Okay, so
yeah.
so you're saving a lot of money then at this point, because
Yes.
so do you have like, did you buy a Lamborghini? What are you doing with all this money?
I'm saving it all to buy a house in
That is,
cash.
man, that's very mature of you. I love it.
I have my Jeep that my dad bought me when I was 16. And my rent is 2,000 a month for a 2 bedroom apartment.
So I mean, in my group, we always talk about low cost, no cost. Are you pretty frugal in general? Are you thrifty?
In my day-to-day life,
Yeah.
yes, I would say I do like to go out to eat a lot. I'm an out to eat girl, but it's so minimal. It's such a drop in the bucket that it's not like I'm going in.
Yeah.
Like I don't go and spend, I don't like drop. Vacations, I like vacations, but I haven't vacationed in a while. I'm really like in a save mode, but
Yeah.
dinners, I don't know. Like I guess my expenses every week would be like a couple $100, maybe 500 a week, which might be a lot to some people, but it doesn't feel like a lot to me. I'm not like dropping thousands on like bags and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, that's not what your Instagram is about, actually. So a lot of people on their Instagram in your position, they're posting fancy stuff they bought, but yours is more like you're using social media also to plug your stream.
Yeah.
It's less about you, maybe more. Are you using it to acquire customers?
Yeah, that's what I do it for. As soon as I started talking about, I'm really actually hate, like I hated talking about my numbers.
Yeah.
Now I'm more open about it because I've thrown it to the world. But
Yeah.
I realized when I posted a video about my numbers, then I had all these people signing up with my Whatnot link and coming and watching my shows. So
Interesting.
I know to some people I look like a spoiled brat talking about the money that I've made, but it's a tactic to get them to come to my shows and check out the Whatnot app. I'm doing it for all of us.
For sure. And then are you a Whatnot influencer? I'm assuming you are.
No,
You're not. Okay.
no. I know there's an influencer program where it's
Yeah.
like, no, I have the regular $10 credit.
Okay. So you should be on it because I am. And I don't know if I'm driving. I think I've driven maybe like 2,000 people to the app, but
Yeah.
you should definitely get on that program. You get a much higher per person
Yeah,
rate.
you do.
So I'll hopefully I can get you in on that program because you're killing it on there. Do you also do TikTok?
I do, but I don't get that many people from TikTok.
Because that's their biggest driver. So
Mm-hmm.
this driver right now is TikTok, people posting TikToks and driving that traffic over, but it is cool that you're getting it from Instagram. So Instagram's not dead.
No,
I love it.
no.
Okay. So you
I've
do,
had Instagram for only like 7 months and I already have over 13,000 Instagram followers.
and I think yours is like so many people use Instagram to just talk about themselves, but I don't see you doing that because it's more
Mm-hmm.
like also inspirational. You're getting new people onto the it's a different demographic. Like for me, I'm almost 40. So in my
Right.
demographic of people who are selling, a lot of people don't use their Instagram correctly, in my opinion. They're not getting new
Mm-hmm.
customers from it. They're
Yeah.
posting random things, but yours is like it's very tailored. I feel like everyone who goes is gonna want to check it out. It's like it's
Yeah,
curiosity.
they're like, what's going on? How's she
Yeah,
making this
exactly.
money? Let's check it out. Like, and they're probably thinking, how can I make that money myself? But then they get over there and they end up buying something. So
That's
I don't
exactly
really
right.
care.
I have that same situation. So when did you start hiring? And I think you're no longer doing this by yourself.
No. So I ended up hiring like all my family members pretty much. Like I employed all my family. So I started hiring when I was like not sleeping. Like I was just working all the time, packaging by myself, and it was just not a life. Like I was like very overwhelmed all the time, very stressed. And then when I hired on one person, one of my family members, I was able to double my business, pay a little bit, and like make double the money. So I was like, this is cool. So then I just started hiring family. So I've got like 3 family members that work for me.
And currently you're the only streamer.
Yeah, yeah, and I will always leave it that way. For me,
Really?
I would rather take on more people who can like package, ship, all that. They, in my case, they want to see me. Like I've built a really good relationship with my people, and I don't
Yeah.
know, like I feel like this is an unpopular opinion. I know you have people that stream for you, but obviously when you stream
Yeah.
like yourself, you have way more people
Yeah.
than your employees. Or if like, anyone who has, there's been a lot of people who have people
Yeah.
streaming for them and their viewership cuts in half or like
Definitely.
1/3 or even less, which
Yep.
is fine if you're selling stuff, but you make more money of being yourself. So I'd rather just have everyone else like do all the back end and me just go on live.
I have tried all by myself before in the beginning. And
Mm-hmm.
it is interesting because like my goal on Whatnot is to do 10 million a year. So
Okay.
when I look at it, right, the easiest way to do it is if I did all the streams and everybody was my assistant, right? And I just
Mm-hmm.
literally just did a gigantic show every day and everything was planned by other people. The inventory would come in, sort, I would design the game, I would talk, I would design all the different things that would go on, and that would be the biggest. But it is
Yeah.
very difficult to stream every day. Um,
Yeah.
and it's also like I think I double dipped because I can still come on anytime and drive that giant traffic that follows me. And I
Yeah.
still get this staff that when they're streaming, it's not going to be anywhere near. And I think this is so important for people listening right now. There's a disconnect. If you build a brand and you're not there, you're going to lose a huge percentage of that part. So you're going to have to understand. A lot of people are, I think
Mm-hmm.
they're skipping doing it themselves. This part that you're doing right now, I think
Yeah.
I don't think it works that way. I think you have to build a brand around something first. Then if you want to grow, you can, but you have the
I
ability
agree.
in the future to,
I
I
think in
think
the
you can.
future,
Yeah, you
I'm
can.
not opposed to it in the
Yeah.
future, but
Yeah.
as of right now, I've got to like continue on. Everyone wants to, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I have a question for you. Do
Yep.
you feel like you've been in this for a long time, but
Yep.
do you feel like you in the past few months have struggled to get inventory or to keep up with your supply?
No.
Not at all.
Recently, because of like adding YouTube, I've had
Yeah.
so many suppliers contact me, and now it really kind of it kind of messed with my head because I have 3,000 square feet here and it's already too small. So I was
How
looking
many pallets does that store?
90.
That's a lot.
A lot. I know. So
I would
I,
love that.
I went from buying a truck, and I haven't even been doing this this long because I used to sell only thrifted goods.
Okay.
My first truck only a year ago, but
Oh,
then
wow.
that was 28 pallets, and it was
Yeah.
coming like once every 2 or 3 months, and then
Mhm.
two every month. And now almost every week I'm getting a whole truck,
Do
and
you own the building or rent?
I rent. So
Okay.
can I ask what state you live in?
Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, Virginia. So I don't know what, I'm sure real estate is expensive there, but
It
it
is.
it is making me wonder if I want to go the route of buying a building, or do I just keep right now it's just like um I think one, the cost of labor in the Bay Area is a lot more expensive in California, and also
Yeah.
the space is so expensive that it's making me wonder, should I supply other whatnot sellers? Because at this point the supply, I can't even sell it.
Hey,
I
if you want to supply me,
That's what I mean. It's the because it's because the quantity is so high now that I can get from the
yeah.
brand directly. So it's
Yeah.
been very unusual.
Well, I feel like for me, I've been trying to find like steady suppliers. I get my deals. I feel I haven't like had to stress too hard about it,
Yeah,
but I'm also just getting started. I feel like the more I
good.
grow my Instagram, kind of like how you've grown your YouTube, the more I'll have people like reach out.
Yep.
I feel very confident in my cash flow that I can like buy the deals and I
Yep.
feel confident in my space. It's
Yep.
just like building those relationships. Y'all have a few years on me.
Oh, 100%. And then also the momentum grows so fast because you haven't been doing it that long either.
No.
So I
And I
think
haven't been buying like I've only been buying like this for a few months. I was thrifting. Like I was thrifting
same.
items and
Yep.
then I decided to get into pallets like 7 months ago, like not that long ago.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm new to it. So I'm
Right now,
hoping.
there's this weird rift where TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, who normally get all these deals, they're not doing well. So all of
Mm,
these companies now have these crazy overstocks because there's nowhere to sell it. Except for now,
yeah.
people like us can now get deals like this that wouldn't normally even be offered because TJ Maxx is easier to sell the entire thing to. And
Yeah.
when they distribute it to 100 stores, it doesn't degrade the brand as much as
Yeah.
potentially we might, but we're selling stuff for way more than TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this format is so new.
Yes.
Do you worry that it's going to become saturated?
Mm, I think I kind of explained this like to someone the other day, and I don't want to say this like and come off wrong, but like I think that in the way that the middle class is kind of getting wiped out in our day to day, like our regular life, that I think maybe middle class sellers might start to be washed out and it might be your top sellers and your small sellers. I just think that as it becomes more saturated, you're going to have your people who are already constantly have been here for a while and get good, full rooms. And then, whatnot's become very like whatnot is just like there's a lot of people that come live now and they've got like one people, two people. There's so many rooms with just like one, two, three. I worry about the people who consistently get like 20, what will happen to them as we get all these other people with one, two, three.
I'm not worried about you because I consider you the best at what you do. Because there's like it's very
Thank you.
crowded. You're welcome. It's very crowded in the middle and the bottom.
Mm-hmm. It
But
is. It
if
is.
if you have even just 100 people in your stream and you're fast, good product, you're gonna be fine. But
Yeah,
getting
that's what I strive for.
exactly, but getting to 100 if you have mediocre product or it's slow paced, I don't see people staying in your
We move,
queue.
that's one thing. We move 10 seconds sudden death
Yep.
constantly. We sell 100 items an hour, couple hundred items a night. And like last night, we sold 225 pieces. We were done in an hour and a half. People are happy they got their stuff. We're done. And I engage with them the entire time. I like to think I get good stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I sell very different stuff, I feel like, than you. I
Yep.
go a little bit more for like, I'm sure I pay way more, but
Yeah.
a little bit more for the labels that are just like younger, like
100%.
but I mean, you sell Good American
But
too.
but
I
but
sell stuff like Good American.
I think it's less risky to do that. Like you mentioned with free people on Poshmark, I don't think
Yeah.
selling free people is risky. Even if
No.
you pay a lot, it's not really
Yeah.
risky if people want it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
like if you
And I was the first one to get on there, buy free people, and started at a low price, and everyone was like lost their mind.
I
And then
know.
they were like, "Who is this 17-year-old girl going live every night?" And everyone thought I was like their child.
No, that's but you also don't look 17 or 18. You look much older.
Yeah, I don't. I guess I present myself older.
You
I kind of
present
have to.
yourself differently. You present yourself as business owner, which is obviously
Yeah.
a different type. So yeah, I think it's a lot riskier to buy cheaper, worse product. Like
Yeah.
it's less money, but there's no interest.
Right. You got to make the interest.
So as an example, a couple of times I've driven down to the Lululemon outlet because they don't distribute like pallets. They sell all their stuff at their outlets. So I went down
Yes.
there, and to me, it's not risky to buy stuff for $20 or $30 because it'll sell for $40 to $50, right? But for
Mhm.
a normal reseller, dropping like 20 grand at the store is so unthinkable. But in
Yeah.
my opinion, that's less risky than going to Salvation Army and buying 12 pieces for $10. There's no
Right.
volume there. There's no and there's so much, it's the same time.
Yeah. This is like going back on what you said earlier, but how you said you thought about supplying. I think people really need suppliers right now, so I don't think it would be a bad idea. I mean, there's just so many suppliers right now that people are very, skeptical of, and it's just like a lot of suppliers I worked with before I had to get rid of. So it's like you're trying to find good ones. I feel like people, if you started doing it, people would be like, oh, like we know him, like we would buy from him. So I
Well,
think you
yeah.
should get into that.
Well, here's the part that makes it hard is that most of the lots are unmanifested, right? So you don't really know what they are.
Those are my favorite.
I know. And the reason why they're my favorite and your favorite is because we know what we're doing. But if you don't know, right? And you can't go with the flow and you're just paralyzed because you see it and you don't know how to do it, that is a problem. So it's amazing to me that in this industry there's not a manifested company. Like
Right.
it's surprising. It's not that hard to open the pallet and see what's in it. People are just lazy.
Yeah.
They just want to just sell it without looking at it. And that's why you and I can get these crazy deals sometimes because they don't know. Like
Yeah,
literally,
I'll be like, I don't care what's in it. I heard those 3 brands that you said. Let's
yeah,
pick it up tomorrow and I'll wire you the money.
exactly. And I think that being able to do that is huge. Like not paying on credit, paying by wire transfer is so
Yeah.
different. And a lot of middle and lower resellers are using their card, which can get I can tell by watching Whatnot. There's so many people who bought those lots 100% on credit cards, and
Hmm.
also when you're only buying one box, it's so risky to me. It's less risky to buy a pallet where you get all of it.
I agree.
So when you get an extra small, it's just part of it, right?
Part of it. If I get a ripped up thing that looks like it's been set on fire, it's part of it.
So,
Like,
so what do you do? You just tell people.
yeah, or I throw it away.
Oh, you throw it away. I see.
I mean, if it's like that bad, if there's a hole in it, I'll still run it and get $4 for it. Someone
Yeah,
will fix it.
but you tell people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
We're
the
very
same.
good at pointing it out. I mean, most of the time I bought damages before.
Yeah.
If it's a really good brand, I'll buy the damages. I mean, like we had purchased Boys Lie sweatshirts and there was damages. I still got like $100 for them.
Yeah,
You know?
that's right. As long as you just tell people, and I think so many people are afraid of doing that. And
Yeah.
also, the experience is allowing us to charge more than because
Yeah.
sure, you charge more sometimes than you would get on Poshmark or eBay or Mercari.
Right, but like you're over here giving away MacBooks, like
I know. Well, I thought I actually know right now, and I don't know if when I'm gonna release this interview that we're doing right now, but right now
yeah,
there's not a lot of people doing big giveaways, at least not
I
consistently.
know,
And it
I
is
know.
interesting. It's
I know
interesting.
I kind of want to steal your idea because I'm getting I'm getting in
No.
3,000 pieces of like the same jewelry product.
Yeah.
Like, well, I could just go buy a MacBook and have everyone buy that jewelry, and then I'd be coming out a couple thousand in profit.
Because I looked at it, there was like the 20 MacBooks cost like 6,000.
Oh, I
And
did the
yeah, and
math.
it streamed at 80,000. So I was looking at I was like trying to keep it under 10%, right? But there
Yeah.
was an average of 700 people the whole day. And then
Oh, it was an
and
amazing
then
show.
Whatnot told me that 18,000 people stopped by. And I'm like, that's not expensive. If you wanted me to get 18,000 people to go to my stream, that doesn't seem expensive, right? So right now, maybe it's undervalued because people don't know yet that you can buy traffic with a good giveaway. And I think people are doing it wrong. They get a good giveaway and they don't run anything.
I know.
So it's just for their following, but they want you to like when I actually I've screwed up a lot of giveaways not understanding this because I gave
Yeah.
6 Lululemon belt bags, which is
Okay.
not that expensive. And
No.
this is maybe a few months ago, and there was 1,800 people in there, which is so wild. It was just
Right.
because the timing of the day and like nobody else was streaming at that time, and no one had done that before.
Yeah.
So I think we're in the as weird as it sounds, we're just right in the beginning of this.
Yeah.
I think it's going to
I
get way more interesting.
yeah.
Also, Whatnot is partially owned by Logan Paul and a bunch of influencers, and they never talk about it. I think it's because
What do
uh,
you mean?
they don't talk about Whatnot because I don't think it's ready. I think
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think if Kevin Hart and The Rock did a Whatnot, the app would definitely not work.
Yeah. I don't think it's ready
It
for it
wouldn't
either.
it
I
wouldn't
Post
hold.
Malone.
Yeah, the Post Malone was a fiasco with 40,000 people.
Yes.
App it didn't work for anybody. It broke the whole
No,
website.
it crashed.
It crashed. So that makes me wonder. Maybe they're still new to getting it because like Twitch, they can have 100,000 people watching,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't break. And
No.
so I don't think it's ready for that. So we're not even to the point where celebrities are even endorsing it really.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I think you've noticed, but in our category, Doll Skill is on, and
Yes.
they have 3 million followers on Instagram.
Huh.
So you and I are both benefiting from them bringing their traffic to the website.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree.
That's right. So I'm like, I also didn't know they were down the street. So I've been over there to look at their operation, and
Oh, really?
it's not fancier than what you and I have, and they have millions and millions of dollars to do it. So we're right in the
Wow.
beginning, and also they're the first brand
I
on the
know.
platform. So I think that
Yeah.
people are complaining about Whatnot not having people that are buying stuff. We're so early. I don't think that's a problem.
I think that like especially like the people who are up on top, like all the big sellers, like you, I,
Right?
everyone else. I think it's just the beginning for us. Like I think it's just gonna like we got in at the perfect time and we're setting ourselves up for like a perfect next few years.
Yeah, and I think that just like you said before, the suppliers want to work with people moving the volume. So like
Yes.
you don't even know this yet, but like within the next year, like 100 people will contact you and who have everything.
I would
And
love that.
that's gonna be it's not hard to find. There's honestly like 100 people who do good volume.
Well, it's
Last
like I
year,
look for those like top tier brands, like your Revolve brands, like
yeah,
the Good American. And I feel like there's not many people like these brands don't want to liquidate their stuff. So it gets a little tricky there because I'm not like I'm trying to find those better brands
yeah,
at good cost. And I'm willing to take I'm willing to take a lot of units,
yeah,
but like 20,000, like, but it's hard right now. But I know I realize that I just put my name out into the world. And
yeah,
so like I did like one interview with some girl with circular fashion like a few months ago. I ended up getting like a great supplier out of it that's like working with me exclusive. So like
yeah.
it comes, but yeah.
I know who has the Revolve contract, so we can try to figure out how to get that together because it's not. I'm pretty sure it's millions and millions of dollars. It's not that easy to get, but
Hmm.
somebody has it. So,
Yes.
and the person that has it doesn't have the power that we have to get the prices for it. So
Yeah.
I think eventually what will happen, like I'm sure you've heard of the brand 260 sample sale.
Oh, yes.
So 260 sample sale, they're they're not even getting as much money sometimes as you and I can on
I know.
a stream. So
Yeah.
the power is definitely in the streamers that are building a brand. And I
I
think you already have, you kind of have that vibe of, because you don't, for some reason your vibe is not teenager, at least it's not to me. Not the,
no.
like, you put teen CEO, but that's not really the vibe of what you're, the Good American's not a teen brand.
No, I don't sell any teen brands. I mean, like
Yeah,
I've done very high end, like
yeah,
like I did the Derek Lamb
yeah,
deal, and that's like your $500 dresses, start them at $1, whatever. But
yeah,
no, like yeah, the Good American, it's all, I don't do teen stuff. You're certainly not going to
yeah,
see me running Hollister or American Eagle.
yeah.
I do the higher end stuff. My audience is, they're older, they're not teens. I
No.
mean, I have some, I'm sure, but no, they're all probably 30, 40s, and they're moms that want like nice jeans and nice dresses. That's what
So
they want.
how do you know this? Do you pay attention to your customers, or like why?
Yes, I just know them well.
Because that's not normal. No, most people
I
don't.
pay
They have
attention. I
no idea.
follow, like, I try to like stay involved. Like they'll comment on my Instagram stuff. I like to like see what everyone's life is like. I follow
Right.
back a lot of my people. But no, I pay attention and I talk to them, and I know my Instagram like demographic, and I like, they give you the insights for that. But no, I just know. I guess I just pay attention. I listen to them.
So what do you want to do with Whatnot? Let's say in the next year.
I just want to keep selling stuff.
Anything different?
Just women's clothing. I just want to continue getting the good stuff I've been getting, and
Yeah,
maybe if I can keep up with the supply, I'll continue to run more. I mean,
yeah,
right now we're selling like 10,000 pieces a month. I could totally up that if I can have
yeah,
someone magically walk in and supply
yeah.
me.
Well, that'll just naturally happen. I don't wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah.
The I think I'm gonna lean towards myself. I'm gonna do either one or two shows a month and have it be
Yeah.
like a spectacle. Because I like to think that, I think like 90 or 100 people signed up for Whatnot on that show that I did, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
if everybody was doing spectacle shows, then it would be, so many more people would shop on the website just for fun.
I think so too. I want to do one also. I'm just like, I think you got to keep your bin packed up during those
Yeah,
shows like you did. Like if I do decide to do it, then I need something else, like resellers, like the
yeah,
$1,000 reseller lots that you had in
yeah,
there. And then where you take offers at the end. Like it
yeah,
just, as much things as you can get sold, as many different people you can get in there, something will work for someone in that bin. I mean, I have friends that like literally just bought like a $5 shirt that I'm sure you paid 25 cents for, whatever you paid.
yeah,
And then it's great. Like it's like you're making money for something that you probably wouldn't have wanted to run anyways on the show. But like my friend, she told me she bought the shirt for 5 and she actually resold it for 15.
yeah.
So it works. Like it wasn't junk, like it was still good stuff, but like you got it at a good cost, they got it at a good cost, and then their buyer got it at a good cost.
It is interesting, right? If everybody
Yeah.
wins, then, because ideally you get both the consumer customer and the business customer.
Yes.
And this new feature where you can gift to the chat, that only can happen with a bin item. And
Yes.
that's very weird because I had 70 of those. So
Wow.
that made me think, uh, a lot of people are just doing it for fun. Like,
Yeah, it's just fun.
it's
Yeah, I
just,
love that. I think it was a great idea.
well, I'm excited to brainstorm with you because I feel like we're right at the
I
beginning of,
know, me too. I think we
and
could definitely
and
come up with some
honestly,
ideas.
the people at Whatnot, they're okay, but like they don't really know. It's kind of like I've worked with people who worked at eBay, people who work at Poshmark. They really have no idea what sellers do. They're just
Mhm.
e-commerce back-end people.
Right.
And so they're engineers, they're designing the product, but like for example, they have this Whatnot event. Are you going in a couple days?
I'm not. I
I'm
want
not.
I had the
Yeah.
idea of, oh, everyone, all the top sellers are gonna be gone. I'll just stream. That
So
was my thought process.
that's funny, but I'm thinking the top sellers are not going.
I think they are.
Are they?
I don't know. No one's come out and said like
Well,
no one's.
because
Are
I
you going?
I'm not going.
Oh, dang it.
But no, I was just thinking, I think a better format is this. If
Yeah,
10 of us in a room, that everyone is busy. But you could do
I
it.
know. Well, that's another thing. I'm like, I'm not about to take a few days to travel up to New York. Well, it's
I
not a
know.
few days. It's only a 5 hour train ride. But regardless, it's like, why would I want to do that?
But I mean that's like $10,000 for you easily in time.
Well, that's the thing. That's why like I went to like I did a big trip in May and I looked at my sales, I looked back on it and I'm like, I basically made $0 that month from going on vacation, not working, not running shows for that 2 weeks I was gone. I'm not doing that again. I'll do a small little weekend trip, maybe down to Florida, but I can't no.
Yeah, I have the exact same thing. I realized that like everything, I'm like, I could have been on stream. Are you serious? Like I'm like basically I say no to everything that is not amazing. Do you
I
have
know,
the
like
same?
I don't know if we want to do like a big like all the sellers go down to the Bahamas or something. Maybe I'll go.
Yeah, it's got to be epic. Otherwise, it
It's
doesn't.
got to be epic. I'm not going to go to I don't know what they're doing. I don't want to be mean about their idea, but I don't know. It's probably going to be in a hotel conference room. I want to know what food's going to be there if I'm going.
Have you done a reseller event before?
No,
I can't
no.
believe how
Well,
much.
I did. I was just in New York because Whatnot invited me to go to Fashion Week with them. So I was just up in New York. I was in the same room as Jeff Bezos. Did you know that?
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even realize he was there, but I had like taken videos of the runway and he was like
Yeah,
right there in the back and I didn't know he was there. But he
that's
had like there was a bunch of like there was like another like wrestler dude next to him. I didn't know.
sure.
But yeah,
Who was
it
there?
was cool.
So you haven't networked though with other big sellers,
No.
because that's what I was wondering. Like, let's go look at the people. There's a couple streamers that do 100 million a year on Whatnot, and
Yeah.
I think if you and I watched them, we would probably double our business because we could
Yeah.
just see what are they doing. Like
Yeah.
it's not rocket science, but I know like backyard they have three streams all day. And at this
Uh,
point, I'm really only watching a few different streamers. I think I know what they're doing. So it just makes
mhm.
me wonder. But most of the ideas I get are from different categories. In the fashion
Yeah.
category, there's really not much innovation happening other than this is size large.
Yeah.
There's not much to
And
it.
I guess the question becomes how much do you want to scale your business? Like how much do you want to be in it? Like what's enough?
I think they what's enough. They say it's just 50% more than what you have. Because at some point, like a lot of my mentors, they already do not need money. It's just interesting to them to try
Yeah.
to do
Yeah,
something different.
definitely.
You might be at that point too, because you're not spending this all your money. I'm assuming
No,
now.
I'm not, but I am thinking this is gonna be my first tax year where I'm probably gonna throw up.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
at the same time, I'm gonna be wanting to buy a house. And so there's a lot of things that I'm probably gonna get hit with, but I mean, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. As long the only thing that you can get in trouble with reselling, in my opinion, is overbuying. But you don't have that problem yet.
No, I'd
No,
like to.
yeah, you like to have, and that's since you're not at that issue, that's huge. So I'm assuming the rest of your team they mainly do shipping.
Shipping, yeah, shipping, being there during the show for anything I need, and taking it to the post office.
So do you have any? What is your bottleneck? You think right now in your business? What's preventing you from being? Or I don't even know if you want to be bigger, but it's just supply.
Supply, probably. If I could, I don't know though, because yeah, supply would probably make me do like 2 shows a day. If I had like good supply and I didn't have to worry about like in a month not having a show, then I would probably be running 2 shows a day and just like keep on going. But I mean, I run so much already. I'm already so exhausted.
Are
I
you?
run I run every single night except for Saturdays. And like last week I did 9 streams in 6 days.
So how come you have like a positive healthy juju, even though you work so much? Are you doing lots of self-care during the day? Do you sleep a
Well,
lot?
it's funny because I think about like Saturdays when I don't work and
Yeah.
I'm like depressed on Saturdays. I
Yeah.
have nothing like I I
Like
don't
connection?
really like have any friends to go hang out with. Like it sounds sad, but it's not. I'm actually thrilled with my life. Like I would like I don't really I just don't like I have nothing else to do. Like I just want to work. Like that's just what I want to do. I am happy being live. Like I am happy being there with everyone. I actually love my customers. Like I love them like to pieces. Like not even because they pay me, but just because like they're good people and they love me and they support me. So I'm happy to be on a live where I know I'm surrounded with people that like actually love me. And it's just a good feeling. So I love being live. I guess I'm happy to go live. Like, and the fact that I'm doing that every day, I'm just happy.
Did you enjoy the selling part too? Because it seems like
Oh
you do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love selling. I love getting on
Yeah.
camera. I love moving quick. I get more excited when it's a product I love selling even more. Like sometimes you have those
Definitely.
deals that you buy and you know they're going to be a double or a triple. They're not your home run deal.
Yeah.
And those are like they're not as fun, but if I get in like a really exciting deal, like I'm so excited to be live. Like I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. I know I
I
can.
just like I knew I wanted to be a live seller. Like it was like in my blood. Like I just wanted to do it and I did it. And so yeah, it's my dream job and I say it all the time. I didn't expect it. I never expected it. Actually, when I was younger, I was like, oh well, maybe I want to be like a news lady or something. Cause I clearly wanted to be where the camera was. So it sounds attention seeking, but I don't know. I just wanted to like, I don't know. I
Are
wanted to be
you are
live.
you are you extroverted, do you think, or do you think you're introverted?
I'm extroverted all the way. Yeah.
Okay. Because
I
some
feel
people
like
like are
or that
good
I
on
am.
camera,
I'm
but
the
they're actually shy.
No, in person, I was always the one like growing up in the friend group that was very like out there, would say anything, very unfiltered. And like I've been like that my whole life. Like even like when I was little, like I would be the one to just like shout the most not okay thing when I was like 5 at my family event. Like I just was always like, hey, look at me, like I'm doing this. Like I don't know. I just grew up that way. And but like as I graduated high school, I didn't keep any of those friends because they all are going to college and I have a zero interest in college. And it's, if you want to go to college, it's cool. I never wanted to go to college. I mean, I was like 7 years old saying, no way am I ever going to why would I want to do more school? I already hate school. Why would I want to sign up for more school? And then I started getting into the financial part of it. And I'm like, oh, so now you want me to go to more school and then go into debt. And then now I won't have a head start. At this point, I have a major head start on everyone.
Yep.
I mean, some of them aren't going to graduate until they're 24 years old because they're going to do extra school on top of their extra school. And that's fine if you want to go to school. Like these people are going to be a doctor. Obviously, they have to have school. But people go to school for the stupidest reasons, in my opinion. And then they don't even use that degree. I hope I'm not offending anyone. But like, I feel like a lot of the people I have spoken to, this is just information I've gathered myself. They don't even use their college degree. They regret doing it, especially resellers. Like I speak to so many resellers who are still paying off their debt from school. And they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I did what you did at 18, where you've gotten a head start. I basically was able to use my parents for the first few years and have this like crazy business mindset where I'm going to take all the risks because I live with my parents and I'm fine. And if I need to restart, then I can do that. So I was able to take advantage of my situation where other people, they didn't have that guidance. And my parents were very like, they just like encouraged me to do it and just take the deal and let's do it. And here's the building. So not everyone has that support. And I understand that, but I just like, I can't comprehend college myself. And my brother's going to college. He's going to college for business. And that I can't comprehend either, but I love my brother, but I don't understand. I can't understand. And I know like my parents are like, oh, like, you know, helps them grow up. And I'm like, just grow up. I would rather spend the money for my child to go get like an apartment and move out of my house and be a grown up because that's cheaper than college. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe more effective. I was going to ask you about school, but I wasn't sure what your stance was. But you've always known you wanted to work for yourself.
I always knew I wanted to work for myself. I grew up with parents that were entrepreneurs. So like my dad created a business. I watched my dad create his business from not having anything, or not, he wasn't like poor, but he just kind of like lived a normal job and like, worked in the real estate area where my mother did, and they both did well. But I watched my dad go from well to like growing this amazing business that he's now going to pass down to my brother. And so that was like something that probably sparked something within me as well, that I just was like, oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, I've been doing, I started reselling when I was 12. I was in middle school when I got into it, and I started going to thrift stores with my mom and yard sales and all that. And I loved it. I just loved the idea that you could buy something for cheap and like resell it. And it's still such a good product. Like, I don't know. I
Do you
just
feel
had
like
that idea.
your self-belief comes from your parents?
Yes, I do. I think I was such a hard child. Like,
Mm.
I think part of the reason I'm so grown up now is because in middle school, my parents went through it with me. I mean, like all the things that you have to worry about your high schooler doing, like sneaking out, drinking, like I was like 13, like let's party. And so I think like my parents went through with me that when I was like 14, I was all like, let's start a business. And I started taking business classes. So like, I think I just got that out of my system early on, that I couldn't care less. Like, I would never, like, you could not get me to a party at this point in my life.
That is some, I think I've noticed that probably half the people I know that are the most successful, they were bad kids. Like
Yeah, I feel
13,
bad. My
14,
parents, I feel
you
so
got
bad
out.
for my mom. I put them through it.
And now
They,
they're on board though, obviously.
oh my gosh, I'm their best child.
Wow. You have one sibling, he's older or younger?
So I have a younger sister and an older brother.
Okay.
And my brother was the easiest child, like just very easy. But I'm the most successful. So it worked.
Do you guys have any rivalry?
No, when I was going through high school, my brother, he was like the one that wanted to go party. And my brother and I think we went through like not getting along for a few years, just because I couldn't understand him, why he would want to waste his time doing that, when he couldn't understand me, why I didn't want to go party or why I didn't want to go do any of that. So there was like a really long time where I feel like we couldn't understand each other. But at this point, I think my brother, he's gotten a lot of respect for me and my business and everything, that we've gotten to a point where we respect each other. And it's good. We just respect that, I'm not anti-college. Like some people probably think I am. I'm anti-college for myself. And I think that some people should be, because why would you, like, you need to really think through what you want to do if you're just going to go spend all this money. That's what I think. I think too many parents force it onto their children, and it doesn't make sense. Like, why don't you sit down and actually see what your child wants to do before you go spend all the money on it? Like, to me, that makes no sense. If my kids want to go to college, sure, what's your plan? Let's hear it. Let's hear what you want to do before I drop $100,000 for you to never use this degree and go do something else to make 40,000 a year. Not happening. So let's figure it out. Let's open. I feel like people need to have the discussion and not be so like traditional in the sense of, yep, you're 18, go to college, do whatever you want, get a degree that doesn't matter.
How did you get the funds you needed to start this company?
So I had saved up $40,000 by the time I was 16 from reselling. So like going to Goodwill, thrift stores. That was like 2 to 3 years. I did consignment with people. So I had 40,000 in my bank account by the time I was 16. I took 35 of that and put it into stock. So I still have 35 just sitting in stocks. I haven't touched it. And then I had 5 left. And it was kind of tricky because I had like, I ended up upgrading my car. My dad spent most of it. Like we're talking, he spent 20,000. He made me spend 2,000 just so I could understand money. So then I was down to 3,000, and that's when a Free People deal approached me. And then I was like, oh crap, this is my last dollars. I didn't really feel like it was my last dollars because I would have taken stuff out of stocks or asked my parents and they would have given it to me. But but I ended up doubling that. So it went from 3 to 7, or a little bit over double. Then I bought more free people, and then I doubled that. And then I bought more free people, and I kept doubling and doubling until it came time for my first $25,000 deal, which was a lot to me at the time. And that was my next deal. I bought that. I doubled that. So now we're talking almost 100,000 in my bank account. And then, I bought another 50. Then it was literally like $5,000 deal, $25,000 deal, $50,000 deal. Now we're at $100,000 deals. And ring light died. How did that happen? That's all right. Anyways, so yeah, basically.
You started with $5,000 and built it into this.
Yes, basically.
So at this point, you're not, it's just super savings mode, right? Because you're not, you're beyond that.
Yeah, I'm just like, let's just save everything. That's basically my thought process, because you never know when a big deal is going to come and you need it. And like, I want to be in the position that I can wire someone 250,000, which I can right now. But I want to not feel like, oh, tax season's coming up and I'm scared. Like, I know I'm always going to be fine because I have my parents and I'm like lucky with support, but it's just, I want to save as much as I can. I'm not worried about like, the little dinners that I go on. If I'm spending a couple hundred, that's different. I'm not like some people, they get money and then they go buy 10 bags and all this. I will say I do want a Chanel bag. I do, but I'm not going to buy 10 of them. And like, I'm strategic about it. I reached out to one of the luxury people, and they're going to get me a bag at wholesale. So
you're probably going to end up getting all that stuff for free. Just from me looking at your brand and how you're growing, it would surprise me if you didn't. You're basically limited to only what you can think of at this point, because you don't have, now you've already learned like the number of items that you are selling, because the average reseller, I would say, sells 5 to 10 items a day. You're like 50 times higher than that already. And I feel like that pace and the way that you're looking at it is so different than, there's not enough customers. So I guess the last question I have is, how did you start on that free people route? How did you start getting offered stuff?
So I went on a search for it because I saw somebody selling free people.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, where? So then I started thinking, where are people getting this from? Like, where do they find it? And then so, unlike other people who like to come in my DMs and think I'm just going to give them all the answers, right? I went and did the research. I think it's like such an insulting thing because we spend years or like months making these connections for them to like, and I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but like people who have never come to my shows, just like randomly came across my video, want me to give all my connections that I like. Heck no, don't be lazy. Like, please. Lazy.
So okay, you just thought out there.
So I went on a deep dive trying to find it, and I found it because I'm gonna find it if I want to find it.
That is, man, but a lot of people, I don't feel like they're not really looking, because you can't just say, hey, can you give me their name and phone number?
You can't look up liquidation for sale.
It doesn't work that way. Like, but yeah, I got that DM this morning before our call. Can you give me the name and phone number to the people you buy from? It's like, really?
Sure. Let me just get that
No, it's just, I guess that is a direct way of doing it, but
and you know what? In their defense, maybe you are the wholesaler and they think you're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you are too. Maybe you are too, and they don't know, but
they don't know. And maybe they think from my videos that that's what I'm promoting. Maybe I am someone promoting. So in their defense, I get it. They're probably thinking, well, maybe there's a 0.02%, but if that works, then hey. But I don't think many people, it clicks to them that this is a supply and demand. If I give you my main supplier here, now I'm like, I've got friends that like I've given them deals, like my friends who like, like that I work with. But like, I'm not like, we're not giving out like our main people. Like it doesn't make sense. If I have this one supplier that brings me deals every 3 months and they're amazing deals, but it's only 3 months. I'm certainly not going to give that away. Like I worked hard to get that.
So, okay. So it wasn't handed to you. That's all I'm.
No, it was not handed to me. I worked hard, and I did have like one supplier that had reached out that I worked with a few. I'm sure you know exactly who it is. Yeah, and I cut them off.
but the last the last thing I wanted to share with you, which I think is really interesting, is last year on Whatnot, the whole platform, only 100 people did $1 million in sales, which I feel like is not very many, right? So
Oh, out of the entire
the
platform?
entire platform in every category, okay,
You
which
think
is
it'll be more this year?
has to be. But I'm just saying, like, that's crazy to me because last year I did over $1 million and I just started and I barely know anything.
So
All right.
you're looking to do
So
10 million this year.
not this year, but next year. But
Next
looking,
year, we're
but
looking to do 1.5, I think is what we're going to end with. But next year, I've only been on Whatnot for, by the time the year ends,
yeah,
I think like if I had been here since the start of the year, I would have been over 2 million in sales.
definitely.
But
100%.
because I came here late, like I came in like late March, like almost the end of March,
Yeah,
and we're already at 900,000 on
yeah,
just Whatnot, which I think is like pretty killer. And one of those months I went on vacation.
it is killer.
Dang it.
Like, you're doing a great job. But you can't think that way because like
I know.
eventually everything you do, like for me, hanging out with my kids, it costs thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Everything costs thousands of dollars because the operation you're running is so big. But that
Mhm.
like that's people turn down $50,000 to hang out with their kid for an hour or have lunch with a friend because it doesn't matter anymore. So I
Yeah.
think you're in a really cool place. I'm excited to know you along your journey because you're
I
literally
know.
less
I'm
than
glad
half
we
a
were
million.
able to like connect and everything because I've been so interested in your business. I think it's amazing. And you guys move so much product. And yeah, I look up to you.
This is such a cool. I look up to you. I'm not inspired that often looking at this stuff, but I'm like, for some reason, all the things she's doing are so opposite of what I see. Your social media is more for
Mhm.
bringing people in. The way you're
Yeah.
presenting, you're not scared when you run auctions. You're
No.
you're volume driven. You don't do it at home anymore. You're hiring help, which is so like opposite of I want to do it all by
I tell
myself
people all
in
the
my
time,
house.
I'm like, this is an accident. Like, I don't know how this happened. Like, it just did. The stars aligned. Like, I don't know. It just
It
like, I
doesn't
don't
look
know
like
how. I've always been a hard worker. Like,
yeah,
always, I quit every single job that I worked 2 months for that I was just like trying
yeah.
every single job. I just quit it. But like, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and it's just like I never gave up on reselling. Like, even if I gave up for a month because it just sucked, and like you said, the average reseller sells 5 to 10 items a day, that was about where I was at. But that's not how you can make a living. I mean, I was putting through 30,000 in sales a year. That you can't live off of that. And so it kind of like live selling just came across at the perfect time. I was lucky enough to get onboarded when I did, and it was just worked out. It was good.
I don't think it's an accident because you think a lot differently than I want to do this by myself at home. I'm scared to do anything less than $30 starts. Slow, like it just doesn't. I don't know why you're different, but you are different. All the ways that you run your stream is not the same. Like when people are
Yeah.
asking, like, isn't she afraid to lose money? And I'm like, no, I'm not afraid to lose money. She's not because
No.
she
Mm-mm.
already has designed.
No,
You
because
design it right, you shouldn't.
even if I did one show, I guarantee you I'd have a game plan for the next show.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like, yeah, if you buy
Or
right,
I just won't buy that brand again.
yeah. And I guess that's true too. You are always looking for what's trendy, and for some reason you're customer driven and not like this isn't necessarily what you want to, it is what you want to do, but you're only buying what customers want.
Well, when I make deals, I'm looking at, is it trending? Is it something that my customers, if they don't want it,
Yeah.
can they resell this and then make money on it?
Yeah.
Because then it'll bring comfort to their head of, okay, if I don't want this, I'll make money on it still. So I look for those two things.
Yeah.
New tags, is it trending? Good variety, done. Let's wire.
For sure. All right. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Just remind people where they can find you online and where they can check out your stream.
Katie Co, Caitieco. It's same as Whatnot, and it's like it's pink. I'm pink everywhere. You can't miss me.
Love it. I'll put that in the description for everybody, and we'll see you guys next time.